Bitcoin just lost more than 10% from the all-time high. In this video, I will show you why, starting from the beginning of September, going long on the Bitcoin could be a really good idea. Stay until the end of the video because I will show you an American politician who is buying heavily the Bitcoin. Because the Bitcoin, which is going down since 1 month right now, after a peak, an all-time high here at the beginning of August, it's now here at 111. Okay, this is something interesting because, as for the S&P 500, seasonality told us that this movement could happen, because if you highlight this period, and we knew that the current prices was correlated with the 3-year seasonality, this is what exactly you could expect from the prices, okay? As you can see from the statistics, in the past 5 years, we had 80% of year for the short side, with an average return of 13 for a short trade. And look, you have always to watch also for the long trade, because as for the S&P 500, you can see that the average return for a long trade dropped to 8%, which is a lot of less compared to 13%, where we have 80%. Also, in this case, if we analyze a little bit deeper the data, we can find that, yes, in this specific period in 2021, we had a negative performance on the short trade, but before to lose the 8%, we had a gain of 8%. So, if we analyze deeper the data, we can definitely see that in the past 5 years, we had 100% of odds for the short trade. Okay, it's very interesting because, as for the S&P 500, we are in a specific time period where the short side is very, very common. And look, at the very beginning of September here, we are talking about next week, okay, we can definitely see that everything change and everything goes up. Look, if we plot the seasonality, the trended, so we take away the trend from both the current year and the seasonality, we can definitely see they are moving exactly the same. And we can expect a starting for a bull trend in Bitcoin starting from exactly next week on Monday. And this is very interesting because we can see that in the past 5 years, now we have 100% of success for a long trade in this specific time window, with an average return of 26 and 23. It means the data is consistency. This analysis is strong. So we are very close to a bottom. I would like to share something else with you regarding the Bitcoin, because if you go here to the US Gov tracker, which is the tracker that in real time tell us if the American politicians are buying or selling and what they are buying and selling, the trend version, Arung, is just the same data, but where you take away the trend, okay? We apply the trend price oscillator, and as you can see on the internet, the trend price oscillator is just an oscillator that take away the trend to prices. This is what we do with the seasonality. And it's very nice to use the trended version because you can understand exactly if prices are moving or not like the seasonality. So if we go here to the US government tracker, okay, that as I told you in real time tell us if politicians are buying or selling, and you go here, for example, you ask the system to select only the trades above 200 and to 250,000 K. Look what we can find. I found this guy, which is Brandon Gill, which is a Texas politician. He just started to be a politician in 2025 with Trump. And look at this guy. He's 31 years old, but he's very smart. He was an investment banker. Very interesting because I show you, I also went to the to the FINRA website, and I found that this guy, Brandon Gill, was working for Nomura. He was a private banker in Nomura in New York City. So this guy worked as a private banker from 2016 until 2018 when he went to politics. And guys, this guy is buying heavily the Bitcoin. Look, he bought iShare Bitcoin Trust, which is an ETF. And before of this, he bought directly the Bitcoin, but with lot of money. Look, $1 million, 250, 250. This guy bought heavily Bitcoin. And this is a very good sign because I really think this guy knows something that actually we know, because we know that recently, thanks to the Genius Act, in the United States, buying Bitcoin through a bank, it's possible. And this is something amazing, guys, because I really think that in the long run, the Bitcoin can really grow a lot, and can the Bitcoin do something that we already saw in the past 10 years on gold. Look at gold. If we go back not 20 years, but just 10, we find the gold which was a little bit above $1,000 per ounce. Believe me, I'm here in front of this computer since at least 20 years, and 10 years ago was impossible to even think that the gold could be at the level where the gold is today. Believe me, if you were here 10 years ago, it was even impossible to think that the gold can grow so much. And this is, I really think, it's something that will happen to the Bitcoin. Exactly, it happened to the gold. And this guy, we have to write down his name because I really think he will be very rich. And why not? Maybe one day can be the president of the United States. I don't know. He's quite handsome, so it could be, could be. He was a private banker, an investment banker, so he has contacts. He knows that a lot of money from the banks is going inside the Bitcoin. And I really think this guy will be very, very rich.